Plaintiff Mark French says when he started dating the defendant, he knew she was married, but she insisted she was going to divorce her husband. However, during their 3-year relationship, that never happened, and the defendant still lives with him to this day. Mark is suing his ex for an unpaid loan. Defendant Lisa Boyd admits that she dated Mark, but after he came to her home unannounced, she was forced to call the police. And that's when Mark left a note on her husband's car exposing their affair. Lisa denies owing Mark for anything.
All right, tell me what's going on.
Well, Your Honor, I met Miss Boyd back in 2012 while riding a bus to school, and we struck up a friendship. And after about a year and a half, we started dating. I found out during the time that before we started dating that she was married, but she said she was going to divorce her husband. And that never happened. Over the 3 years that we've been dating, seeing each other, she's still with her husband.
Stays with him, lives with him?
She lives with him, Your Honor. And Your Honor, will you...
So how do you all date? I don't mean for him to know, but...
We would go away on the weekends. And I never went to her house to meet her. I'd meet her somewhere.
You all meet at hotels or go out of town?
At a motel, Your Honor. Sometimes we'd meet just to go out and to museums or do walk around and talk. And I would meet her after she got off work. And I'd meet in the mornings. I'd see her because I'd be on my way to school and she would be on her way to work. We rode the same bus at the same time. So I'd see her 5 days a week and then occasionally on the weekends.
But, in love then.
I love her, Your Honor. I still do.
In love?
In love, Your Honor. Your Honor, I bought her a friendship ring, and she gave it to me the last time we saw each other to get it fixed, and I have it fixed, and I'd like to give it back to her. I don't want to lose her friendship, Your Honor. I just want to end this matter.
You get a little more than a friendship going on there, Doc.
Yes, sir.
Let me hear from you, ma'am.
Mr. French is correct. We met each other, we dated. But Mr. French left this on my husband's car. Your wife is a cheater. I have the pictures and movies to prove it. And left his phone number and said for us to move.
Did you bring those movies?
And I had to call the police on him.
Why do you think he did this?
That was after I called the police on Mr. French.
Why'd you call the police on him?
Because he came to my home.
Let's go back. He said you all met on the bus in 2012 and began dating. And
yes, sir.
You in love? He says he's in love. Are you in love with him?
No, I am not, Your Honor.
You were never in love?
I loved him, but I was never in love with him.
3 years, you never fell in love?
No, sir. No, Your Honor.
Okay, and what went wrong?
Well, there's a lot of things that went wrong, but Mr. French wanted me to get a divorce when he wanted me to get a divorce. That has nothing to do with it.
You wanted to do it on your own time?
Exactly.
What time was that?
When I get ready.
You don't know when that is. May never come.
It may not never happen. It may not never happen. I don't know.
Okay.
But that was even before I met Mr. French. I was thinking about getting a divorce.
How many years you been thinking on it?
4.
Well, you don't know when you're going to finish thinking about it.
No, Your Honor.
All right. And what was your husband's response when he gave him that cardboard message?
My husband didn't say anything to me about it. My husband dropped me off at the airport to come here.
Oh, okay. He didn't drop you at the bus?
No, he took me to the airport.
Oh. Does he ever drop you at the bus when you meet him?
No, Your Honor.
What about this ring? You want to get back to that before we get to this loan? Tell me about the ring.
I bought her the ring, Your Honor, and I gave it to her.
That's not what the loan is for?
No, it has nothing to do with the loan.
Tell me about the ring.
I bought her the ring as a symbol of our friendship because we vowed that we would always remain friends no matter what happened between us. And I don't want to lose her friendship, although I may have lost her as my mate.
How did that happen? Tell me about the breakdown in the relationship.
Well, Your Honor, Lisa has a very bad tendency of not showing up when she says she's going to be somewhere. For instance, Easter Sunday, she was supposed to join me at church. I stood outside waiting at our rendezvous point for hours, and she never showed up.
The bus stop? Right.
Yes, sir.
Maybe the bus was late that day. Go ahead.
Okay, so she didn't show up, Your Honor, and so we made arrangements to meet that next weekend, and she called me text me that morning, saying that she had left her bag and that she needed some things. So I got her some things that she could wear, and she had given me a ring a couple of days prior, said the stones had fallen out. So I took it to the jeweler and got the stones replaced, and I was going to return
Her
it.
wedding ring, no doubt.
No,
Huh?
no, Your Honor, not a wedding
Oh,
ring.
I started to say, you done went too far now. Getting her wedding ring fixed for her. Go ahead.
So I texted her and I told her that I was there waiting for her. And when I told her where I was, she says, that's too close to my house. I told you we couldn't go there. Well, she never told me that, Your Honor. And if she did, I don't recall it. And so I said, well, I can't get my money back. And she says, whatever, okay. Well, hours go by and she's been off work. And so I text her and like, babe, where are you? She says, home. I said, okay, so are you coming? She goes, no. So I proceeded to go back to the room and drink until I thought about how upset I was, how many times I've been stood up, which out of 100%, I think 80% of the time I got stood up. And I had enough. So
She wouldn't call you before or afterwards or text you before or afterwards and tell you what happened? Maybe I got caught up with my husband, I couldn't get away, or you wouldn't get any
most of the time there were reasons why.
Well, you weren't stood up.
Well, I was, because she didn't call me until like a day later. Afterwards, I'm standing there. There was a time, Your Honor, when we were going to go out dancing, and I'm getting dressed to go meet her, and I get a text message, I'm on my way to Vegas. We're already on the freeway. So that meant don't bother trying to change her mind. She's already gone.
What'd you do? You went and got drunk again, or?
Pretty much, Your Honor. Your Honor,
How often? 80% of the time?
80% of the time.
You're an alcoholic by now, ain't you? Go ahead, though. Okay, so the final time. Tell me the final time that broke up everything.
The final time was the Friday after Easter Sunday when I was supposed to meet her and she didn't show up. And I had enough. I couldn't take it anymore. I felt like everything was more important than me.
Okay, so what did you say? How did it occur, the breakup?
I called her up, Your Honor, and I told her I wanted my $600 back after I found out she wasn't coming.
That's this loan you're suing about?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and what did she say?
She said that she didn't owe me any money, that I told her to keep it. And I'm like, no, I did not tell you you could keep the money.
All right, so when do you say you loaned her this money?
It was about 2 weeks before Easter Sunday. I don't know.
April of what year or March of what year?
What are we?
This year?
This year. This year,
okay.
Your Honor.
Ma'am, let me hear from you.
I don't owe Mr. French any money. Mr.
I want to
French
hear more
told me
about this
to keep the
relationship.
money.
Did you stand him up like that?
Sometimes, yes,
Why?
I did, and other times he had explanations of why I couldn't meet.
You were supposed to be headed to see him, and then you just out of the blue, I'm on the way to Vegas. I'm not coming.
I was in the car on the freeway
Why'd
with my
you do
sister
that?
on the way to Vegas.
Why?
Because I decided to go to Vegas and I didn't want to hear what he was going to have to say.
You don't think you were hurting this man's feelings?
I was not trying to hurt Mr. French's feelings. Mr. French wanted to control me. Mr. French wanted me to marry him.
And what did you tell him?
I told him, I can't marry you and I'm already married.
No, you gave him the carrot. You dangled that carrot.
No, I didn't.
One more year. You dangling it today. You're still dangling it.
No,
Yeah, I've wanted to divorce. I don't know when. Yeah, I am, no. Soon. Those are the answers you were getting?
Yes, Your Honor.
Who's your witness?
My daughter-in-law, Kitana, brought that.
Okay, I'm not going to put her in this mess. Tell me about the loan. He alleges that you loaned you money, $600, and you haven't repaid.
Mr. French gave me the $600, told me I did not have to pay it back. Mr. French came to my home April 10th. I had to call the police on Mr. French. Mr. French said, I will take it out in trade, but you don't want to take it out in trade. Leave me alone. Mr. French says to me, your choice, break it off or give me back my $600, or no joke, Monday I will go to court.
Okay, give me the circumstance. Give me what you're reading from, and tell me the circumstances surrounding the $600. The $600 when you received it. Did you ask for it? Did he just pop up and say, "Here's $600"?
I did ask Mr. French if he could give me $600.
For what?
For my water bill. Mr. French said.
For you and your husband's water bill.
Yes. Mr. French said yes.
Sir, she presents me with something. This is where I do have lots and lots of love pictures to show your husband.
That's from Mr. French.
Who knows what I would do, what the other stuff, who I will show. I don't owe you nothing. You said I didn't have to pay back. Remember? This is what she's saying. I said we could take it out in trade, but you don't want to take it out in trade. Well, he believes that it was a loan. However, he's proposing that you repay it with trade and not cash. So can you show me anything, sir, where you actually demanded cash?
No, Your Honor. I was, like I said, I was about 10 sheets to the wind. I don't even remember half of what I said in the text message.
Okay, well, she has it here. And secondly, did you threaten to extort her with pictures?
Those pictures have since been destroyed, Your Honor.
I know, but you threatened her, saying, I will show something to your husband or anyone else. I will show nude pictures, or I will show pictures of you to someone or something unless you do X, Y, Z. That's extortion, even if you're not getting anything. But if you ask them to do something with their life, if you say, for example, go and tell your husband that me and you have been together so you can divorce him. Otherwise, I'm going to go and show him this picture. That's extortion. You threaten to expose something unless a person complies with your request. That's extortion. Even if she owes you money, you had no right to say to her, I have pictures. I'll show your husband. Unless you give me the money you owe me. Even that's true. Those are two different things. You do what you're doing today. You sue her. Now, you could have said that, unless you give me my money, I will sue you. That's not extortion, because you have a legal claim. But this claim that I will retaliate against you and harm you in some way other than the court system is a crime, sir. And I'm not going to enforce this contract that you tried to enforce through a crime. Your claim is dismissed. Have a good day.
I'm not mad at you. I still want to be your friend, at least. And we said we would always be friends. And I don't want to lose that friendship, but I just can't do it anymore. If you're not willing to leave him, we can't be together like that.
God bless you. That's all I have to say.